This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Welcome aboard. It is Follow the Money here on VSiN, the sports betting network. Mitch Moss, Pauly Howard, live downtown Las Vegas is the spot. Circa Resort and Casino. Busy 4-hour program lined up today. We'll be on for an extra hour tonight. Getting you set for the Monday Night Football doubleheader, Pauly. We always start NFL on a Monday. Why would you not? However, today is the exception because what is going on right now in Atlanta is absolute chaos. It's been one of the best baseball games of the entire year, and it has so much meaning to it. And right now they are going to, the Braves just closed out the top of the ninth after Francisco Lindor hit a 2-run home run. And the Mets now lead 8-7 going to the bottom of the ninth. This has been pure bedlam. It was 3-0 Atlanta. The Mets were a dead team walking. They were completely cooked. They couldn't get anybody on. And then all of a sudden they exploded for 6 runs, took a 6-3 lead. They brought in Edwin Diaz because ducks were on the pond.
Not to start the inning.
No, correct.
That was stupid.
They brought him in to clean it up. He couldn't. 3-run double by Ozzie Albies. Braves took a 7-6 lead. And then Lindor, your MVP in the National League, with a 2-run shot. And now can they close it out?
No, take the plus 450 on the Braves. Diaz was a mess. He was all over the place in the bottom of the 8th. You mentioned they were dead. Taylor had a huge at-bat to start the 8th. They couldn't get anything going. They only had one threat during the whole game. Schwellenbach's been great. And he's got two strikes of struggle. Good at bat, hangs in there, gets a key base hit, chases him. They go to the bullpen. They get 6 straight hits to start the 8th. And all of a sudden, 3-0 becomes 6-3 Mets. And then in no time, they give it right back. And it's a play-in game. You're 6 outs away from going to the playoffs. Why doesn't Diaz start the inning? Well, he comes in where guys on. Of course, they hit the guy to start the inning in the bottom of the 8th with a 3-run lead. And then he's just all over the place with his pitches. And he wasn't on. And then he grooves one with the bases loaded in 3-1. And then Lindor goes. Both teams in the last 20 minutes were 15-1 to win the game.
That's correct.
Both teams 15-1. So I'd recommend plus 450 on the Braves. If they bring Diaz back out, I don't have a lot of confidence. But this has been absolute madness. You're right.
I think this might be a better bet, actually, because it's going to be 4, 5, 6 coming up for the Braves. And Stanek was warming up in the bullpen. His ERA is north of 6 this year. So he's staring at Matt Olson, Jorge Soler, and then, he's actually out. He was pinch hit for White. Laureano was 3 for 4 in this game today. How about over 15.5 runs? Now there's an out. It's plus 750 right now. Yeah. Will we get one more run to go to extra innings?
He's never looked so bad.
They brought Diaz back in.
I know. How bad was he in the 8th inning?
Oh, he was terrible. He was an absolute mess.
His location was a mess. Walking guys, and
the
just
pitch
rattled.
to Albies, by the way, on a 3-1 count. I mean, as you said, you can walk him to allow one run. You still have a 6-5 lead at that point. But he grooved one. Albies made him pay. 3-run double. Bases are cleared.
Yeah.
And then it took the Lindor home run for them to get back in front.
Imagine this goes extra innings. I mean, now.
Yeah, I absolutely can imagine that.
So now I'm here for the follow-up because we've been doing this a long time. This is like a once in every 50-year thing where a split, the handshake agreement, if they split, they're both in the playoffs. Arizona needs someone to go 2-0 here. So Arizona did it to themselves and blew it, but then it comes back to what happens in Game 2. You start the playoffs tomorrow.
Right. And by the way,
the winner of Game 1 is in. The Mets have no reason to win the next game because you want to go to Milwaukee as opposed to San Diego, but also you can't burn anybody. You got the playoffs tomorrow.
Right. And if by the way the game's tight later on, how would they approach that? Because Diaz has a shot now for the day.
Sure.
His pitch count is up to 26 as we speak. You're not using him, obviously. And then if he keeps running this total up, does that mean that he's going to be shot for tomorrow? Might need him tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But do they also? Here's another thing. Do they want to keep the Braves out of the playoffs?
No, I can't.
You don't think there's anything to that?
No.
If they meet again, the Braves have dominated this team.
I know they wouldn't see him until the NLCS. Handshake agreement. We split. We're in. I love the fact that the winner of this game, MLB said no celebration. handshake, you can hug, high five, that's it. No celebration. You got to go get ready for the next game because we got to wrap this up.
And there is a blooper, and he's on.
Oh no, because they got to wrap this up and then get ready for game 2. But then you also have, what's the price? If Atlanta loses this game, they have to throw Chris Sale.
Yeah,
they have to.
And here you go. Now he has not pitched in 11 days.
Yeah,
they specifically. I'm telling you. I can say it, I can't prove it. I think there's something wrong with the guy.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. I thought Dan Plesac yesterday on MLB Network had a great breakdown, hardcore breakdown on his last start, September 16th against the Reds. Only went 5 innings, but was laboring. And it looked like there was something wrong. Because why would you hold the guy back this long when you knew what the situation was for the last a week and a half?
Yep.
That could be something to it. But it's also, what are you going to put up for the price? If you're playing backups and the Mets have no incentive to win and want to go to Milwaukee, what's the price on the Braves who would then need the game to make the playoffs and you have to throw your ace in the Cy Young Award winner?
This feels like it should be the end of the regular season in the NFL a couple years ago, Chargers-Raiders. Was there a handshake deal? If that game ended in a tie, both teams made the playoffs.
Yeah,
and yet it was screwed up. The Chargers screwed it up.
Yep. Staley blew it.
Yep.
If Staley doesn't call the timeout, they're going to tie.
Raiders players were like, why did he do that? Oh, is that? Oh,
foul.
Wow. Barely foul.
The Charger players said the same thing. Why are we calling a timeout?
That's exactly right.
The Raiders were just going to run the clock out and we were going to tie. And
by the way, sports books were going to get mauled because that's what people were betting.
Yeah, because it was tied with correlated what happened earlier. Braves are plus. Is it still? It's plus 450 to win the game.
I'm seeing as low as plus 320 right now.
1 on, 1 out. Bottom of the 9th.
Oh,
winner's
mamma
in.
mia.
The winner's in. And it sets up madness
for
the
what
next
are you
game.
doing?
That's the other thing. He can't hold guys on. Diaz won't hold guys on.
It's a horrendous pitch that he's swinging at.
Yeah.
It was 5 feet outside the strike
but
zone.
But he doesn't care. He's like Jansen. I mean, the guy can steal third now, too. Diaz won't hold guys on. So now the tying runs at second. Oh, this is fantastic, though. Oh, madness.
You also have tickets on the Diamondbacks, and you brought this up on the air. Plenty of tickets on them at a nice price to miss the playoffs.
I have 6, 5, and 4. I mean, I've texted you so many times about you got to bet the no on Arizona to miss. How about at DraftKings? Arizona was only minus 220 to miss coming into the day. There just has to be a split. There has to be. Someone's going to sweep this doubleheader. Why would you play anybody or throw anybody that's good knowing the playoffs start tomorrow? It's just a wild scenario here at how it's unfolding.
Oh, Mike, he is so...
He's not even close.
Edwin Diaz is missing everything right now. That was almost a pass ball. Wild pitch, actually, which would have put the runner on third base no problem here. And we're sitting at 1 out.
Yeah.
And now this is Laureano, who's having a great day today.
Yeah.
He's 3 for 4 again at the plate.
How about Will Hill? Will Hill's got 15-1. Chris Felica's got 22-1 on the Braves to miss the playoffs. Did he strike him out?
He struck him out.
He struck him out.
Yep.
So there's just, the hedging possibilities, locking in a profit. Anything's possible. The Tigers just made the playoffs.
Yeah. He went back to the well, by the way, with another off-speed pitch. Oh. And he caught Laureano, and he swung at it. That would have been another ball.
What do you... I can't get there yet. We're not done. I can't wait to see what they hang if the Braves lose and what they make Sale in the next game.
Oh, who's going to pitch for the Mets?
I mean, it's... Yeah.
What are the Braves swinging at? Every pitch is the same from Diaz. It's off speed and it's way outside. And yet here we go with consecutive guys now just swinging at everything. Lay off. He's not close to the strike zone. Look at that. Not even close.
Not even close. They're helping him out.
The previous batter, Laureano, I'm pretty convinced he would have walked.
Yeah. Yeah, the walk's there if you want to take it. I mean, they're pressing right now. And the pressure's getting to everybody. I mean, Diaz also swinging at garbage and
another one.
This is he has no command. He has no command. He would just get out of here on sheer.
But they're swinging at it.
Yeah.
Now another swing and a miss down, so it's 1-2 now.
Yeah.
With the count. Here you go. This could end the game right now. And he finally took one. It was low and outside.
An hour ago it was raining too. Imagine that. Imagine if the skies open up. Sorry, guys.
How about this note from our buddy Kevin Rogers? If they lose this game, the Braves, they are 0-3 in makeup games this year.
Really?
Yeah.
This also, if the Mets can get one of them, they pull even with the Tigers for most wins in September. The Mets were 35-1. The Tigers were 60-1 at Will Hill and Caesars.
Wow.
That's on the line too. They can just get
Does that
one.
do it? The shortstop.
No. The Mets win.
That's the game ender. And by the way, Pauly, that pitch was high and outside.
Yep.
Again, just let Diaz walk the ballpark, and you're going to be okay, Atlanta. They were swinging at everything. Horrible at bats by the Atlanta Braves.
Yep. Okay.
Now
the fun begins. I make Sale $350. I don't even know. I make him $350. The Braves have to win the game. It's the Cy Young Award winner. I know the 10, 11 days, but I would make Sale $350 and see what happens.
I can't wait to see the props. Will books post props in time to actually be able to bet them?
Oh, we got time, sure. Yep.
What time's going to be the first pick?
Should be half an hour. Should be half an hour. Half hour, 40 minutes?
Yeah, because they're not going to put this against Monday Night Football.
No. Yeah, good point. Yeah. Oh, what a game. Both teams 50. I took the Braves 12-1 in the bottom of the eighth. They were still down 2 runs. Oh, what a game. What a game.
Phenomenal baseball game.
Mets are in.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm guessing that numbers are going to be posted here momentarily then. We'll find out. I'm sure Twitter or X is going to have who the Mets are going to be throwing out there. Lineups, I'm sure lineups got to get posted here pretty soon.
Got to see the lineups, baby.
Everybody's going to be a go for Atlanta. We'll see. Maybe Lindor pops a beer in the clubhouse.
Keith Hernandez.
That'll do it.
Keith Hernandez, yeah.
Right?
What a gutsy win.
We have listeners right now chiming in saying that we're actually listening to the game earlier on. The swing of emotions on the Mets broadcast, they said, was unbelievable.
I bet.
We'll get into so we'll keep you abreast of what happens for Game 2 and get into this Monday Night Football doubleheader from a betting perspective coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Time. There's nothing more valuable. It's what drives everyone to make the most of every moment. We celebrate living large in the now. In a city where time disappears, we create experiences that electrify the soul and memories that will last forever. We go big, we go all night, and here, everyone is invited. So get loose and get loud.
This is Circa. You'll have the time of your life.
VSiN is thrilled to introduce a new VSiN.com tailor-made to the evolved needs of today's sports bettors. Our upgraded navigation streamlines your journey, allowing you to swiftly access articles, videos, and podcasts. Whether you're tuning in live or catching up on your favorite shows, everything is just a click away. VSiN.com guarantees a fluid and responsive experience across all devices, ensuring you stay connected wherever you are. We have enhanced tools such as our betting splits and expert picks, and introduce innovative features like parlay and odds calculators, all designed to make you a sharper bettor. Our how to bet section is perfect for beginners, covering the fundamentals, while seasoned bettors can delve into our advanced betting strategies for the competitive edge you've been looking for. Sign up for free on VSiN.com or become a VSiN Pro subscriber, where you can unlock unlimited access to every tool, expert picks, and insight that make VSiN the sports betting network.
Want to see who at VSiN is on a hot streak? Go to VSiN.com/picks to see all the selections and weekly leaderboard of VSiN hosts, writers, and guests. Become a VSiN Pro subscriber and get every pick sent to your inbox daily. Just head to VSiN.com/pro.
Responsible sports betting starts with a game plan. That means stick to a budget. Keep it social, learn the game, and know the odds. Play with legal operators, and if you need help, reach out. Visit haveagameplan.org to learn more.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, we have the Monday Night Football doubleheader. We'll get into that coming up. Discussion on both those games here momentarily. Books are now posting numbers for this, Game 2 doubleheader here. Braves, Mets. Mets hung on to win 8-7. Unbelievable baseball game. I mean, Paul, I saw as high as minus 550 on the Braves. So we are doing a little price discovery now by these books.
It's fast to see the movement here. It's the screen just is popping. Caesars and Will Hill has 455. Braves run line minus 1.5, minus 230.
I saw minus 260 during the break.
Oh, and a total 7.5. And the Mets are going to throw a guy out. They're going to get a guy out of the stands to throw game 2. 540 at DraftKings.
How long is Sale going to go?
Well, yeah. What if
Plesac's onto something?
What if the Braves get 6 in the bottom of the first? I know.
Throws 2 innings.
Yeah.
Warms up, and then he doesn't really burn himself for like 2 days from now. Can go back out there if he is healthy. I can't wait to see. These props are going to be popping here, propping very soon, I would think.
How do the Braves respond? Again, no momentum in baseball. That's all who your pitcher's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But that's gut-wrenching. You just had a 3-0 lead. You were 6 outs away from going to the playoffs. You come back, you blow that. You blew it in the top of the 9th. And now if you lose, your season's over. No. Will there be a run scored in the first inning? Yes, it's plus $1.10. I like that, too.
That's already up?
Yeah, I got that. Caesars and Will Hill.
All right.
I think there'll be a run in the first inning. I mean, this is, see how the Mets play it, but you just got to be, okay, fine. We'll just throw someone out there and get this over with. Swing at the first pitch, guys. Get this over as fast as possible, and then we go to Milwaukee, and we play tomorrow at 2:30 Central, 2:30 Pacific, I believe it is.
Yeah.
So that's the other whole thing to this whole deal with the schedule.
They just moved to minus 480, by the way. So these numbers are all over the map as we speak. Anybody want to go contrarian and take the Mets? To close them out?
Yeah.
Close out the Braves?
What's the highest you've ever seen in a baseball game?
We're getting there.
540?
I think Severino with the Yankees. Was it him?
Royals. Yeah, against
the
Royals.
Royals, and they got beat.
Got buried.
It was like 550, I think, that day. I went to Mission Impossible 6. I came out of the theater. I'm like, look at that, huh? Royals killed them.
Yeah. I was there, too. I just went for the popcorn.
And then you went home.
And then I went home.
Yeah.
Right.
Awful movie.
It's good.
Good thing you didn't go watch it. Joking.
Oh,
Okay.
this is awesome.
So, we will keep you again updated with more numbers as they popped. Put it this way. Can an NFL game be as good as that baseball game was? Like tonight's doubleheader, can it be? How?
No.
How? That's one of the best baseball games of the year.
No. Yep.
All things considered, everything on the line?
Yep. 35-1 Mets. Most wins in September. Win some. Oh,
They just took it down.
Well, it's tied with Detroit. Depends how the book's graded. I haven't looked at losses, but they're both now on 17. So, woo.
Wow.
What a game.
What a start to the day. Okay, so then what do you want to do for the games that we have coming up tonight?
Well, I like the Lions. Again, I like McDonald and what he's done, but I think Seattle's a bit of a fraud. I know Grubb has done an excellent job with the play calling, and look at what's going on in Washington. Coaching matters. Good play callers matter. So what Daniels has done, rightfully in the MVP discussion, and how Grubb is spreading it around and make sure everyone gets involved with a passing attack. I like that. From a defensive standpoint, though, they could only improve after last year's abomination. But again, you haven't played anybody, and the quarterbacks have been atrocious that you've gone against. So I think Goff now, 8-0 straight up, 7-1 ATS in primetime games going back. If not now, when? Detroit has to look the part finally. They haven't looked the part. This is the night I think their offense breaks out of it. They have a big performance on Monday night in front of a big audience, and they get right offensively and make up for what happened last year when Seattle came to their house and beat them.
Well, okay, now it's actually been 2 years in a row, and how random is this? It's the third consecutive year Seattle is going to Detroit and playing. They played in 2022. That was 48-45, the final score. Last year, 37-31 in overtime. Are we going to get fireworks like that again tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Good breakdown by Zach Cohen on VSiN.com. He likes Tyler Lockett over 43.5 receiving yards.
I like DK.
Okay, and that's 65.5 now, I believe.
Yeah.
Lockett, 2 years ago, 6 for 91. Last year, 8 for 59 and 2 touchdowns. And he's got a good matchup tonight and who he's going to be seeing man-to-man, and he does really well there anyway. And Gino's been good so far. Again, level of competition here for the Seahawks. They're taking a major step up in class, and so far with who they have played. Bo Nix, Broncos in Week 1 on the road. Patriots, by the way, very fortunate to win both those games.
Sure.
And then what happened last week? Obviously, no Tua, and they pounded Miami. So I can make a case, I think, for Lockett and for Debo in this game tonight. I'm not going to be surprised if we actually get more points again between these two teams.
DK?
Metcalf and Lockett, yeah. Both guys.
Yep.
Would not be surprised.
Yep. I want to see what Johnson does, too. He's too pass happy. He's done a bad job, let's be honest. He's done a bad job in the first 3 games. So stick with the run game, too. And if Goff doesn't turn it over, I think they're going to win. It's a contest play. It's in pocket. I think the Lions get it done. And also, I recommend at DK under 3.5 kickoff returns.
So do I. I think that if you can bet that right now, it's actually minus 105. Under 3.5 kickoff returns in the game. Good angle there. Thanks to Peter listening and watching the show in Iowa. Good numbers. Makes a lot of sense. I'm with you. Although the Lions are injured on the offensive line, and the Seahawks are also a little bit banged up on the defensive line. But if this is another game where the running game is going from Jump Street and Ben Johnson at some point aborts that game plan to get pass happy, I got to tell you, power rating way down at this point. It's now 4 games in.
Yep.
And you can, I know the injury on the offensive line like I talked about. They still have one of the best O-lines in the entire sport. And Montgomery and Gibbs, they've had it going in all 3 games so far this year. You don't have to have Goff drop back and pass 35 times if the running game is going. So let's see if he can actually adapt to the situation of the game flow that we have going on tonight. In fact, Goff is 2-1 under his passing yards prop on the year. Montgomery and Gibbs are 2-1 each to the over on the season. How about Laporta, who was tight end number 1 in fantasy football 3 weeks ago before it started? He has gone under all 3 of his yardage props on the season. Amon-Ra St. Brown is actually 2-1 under on the year, but he's 2-1 over this current number that's available at DraftKings. I think it was 74.5 at last check. But this is, no doubt, I agree with everything you said. Something wrong with Detroit so far to begin the year, but also by far and away the best team that the Seahawks have played to date.
Yeah, and Goff has to, let's be honest, Goff has to be better too. They got bailed out last week when that should have been a pick 6 with the officials. He threw 2 horrible interceptions in the Tampa Bay game. The issues in the red zone as well. So I like what I've seen defensively. Hutchinson's been great, but stick it to him now. After what happened last year, and again, good story, but we know Seattle's not this good in terms of who they played, and again, the quarterback play, and hasn't happened since 79, where you've held every quarterback under 150 yards. But this is a game where Goff and the offense can go off. I do like Achane props in the other game. Huntley's a good quarterback. He's underrated. He's a veteran quarterback. He's seen a lot. Levis has been a disaster. I think it's a big Achane game. Mostert's not supposed to play. DK's got Tyreek Hill at 51.5. Come on. And this is a big game for McDaniel. You have to win this game.
I would agree.
You can't lose this game again.
You're a better football team.
Yes, and after what happened last year, big reason why you blew the division because you blew a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter against these guys, and somehow let that get away. So as embarrassing as that was in Seattle when you were 1 of 15 on 3rd and 4th down combined, no Thompson. Now you got a veteran quarterback in there. You have weapons. I want to see a heavy dose of Achane. I can see some safe passes, but also we can take some shots to Hill. Hill over, Achane over rushing and receiving. Get the win. I mean, your season. If you can't win this game, you might as well just say that's the hell with it with the season.
You want to go Achane receptions too? It's 3.5. Targets so far by game 5, 7, and 7, and receptions by game 3, 7, and 7. This is a defense that allowed Braylon Allen and Breece Hall to combine for 9 catches back in week 2.
Mm-hmm.
You had the better quarterback. I don't care how fresh he is to the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Huntley is a better quarterback than Will Levis. I think you have the better coach, although again, Stockton and Mike McDaniel for the performance last week and the overall game plan, but you have more talent than Tennessee. People, come on, compare the win totals before the season started. Compare the division prices, the future odds. People were super high on this Miami team.
Yep.
I know Tua is no longer there, but Huntley's fine. So, and I totally agree with the line move. Up to 2.5 here at Circa now.
Yeah. This isn't some guy off the, guy who hasn't played. I mean, the guy's won many games and has played in big games.
Sure.
So I trust him, and I don't trust Levis.
Titans are 32nd overall in EPA per play on offense.
Yikes.
The Dolphins are 31st.
Red zone issues, too. I mean, that's another thing on McDaniel. 31st in red zone efficiency, offense and defense. 29th in penalties. Mm-hmm. Again, we're going to rip him coming up. But, Sal, I mean, it's the same crap in New York, and it's been the same stuff with the Dolphins. Play a clean game. Stop with the turnovers and stop with the penalties and beating yourself.
All right, so we have a very intriguing, bettable MLB game, I think anyway. Braves-Mets coming up here momentarily. Braves have to have it now to get into the playoffs. Jensen Lewis joins the program, MLB Network Radio. He also told me that he loves a certain betting market for the playoffs. Find out which one coming up next.
VSiN's got you covered for the start of the season with our football special. For $175, you'll get access to everything VSiN has to offer. With VSiN Pro, you'll receive daily picks straight to your inbox, detailed analysis on every game, and exclusive data like our betting splits to help you become a sharper bettor. Get all of this for just $175 through the Super Bowl. Or try a monthly subscription and get your first 30 days for only $9.99. Don't miss out on this offer. Sign up now at VSiN.com/subscribe.
This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
What a turn of events this is. So the Braves-Mets game earlier today was pure insanity. They both blew it. Both teams were 15-1 to win the game in play. So the Braves lost, and this whole thing came down to Chris Sale was going to save the season if necessary. Scratched moments ago. So if you were grabbing the Mets on only action bets, right? Don't forget about the starting pitcher. You have the Mets at 4-1 range in pocket right now for a game that's going to start here in, what, half an hour?
Yeah. I don't know who the Braves are throwing.
And Jensen Lewis joins the program now, MLB Network Radio. Does a great job. And he's on the Progressive guest line. Jensen, thanks. This is pure madness. What do you think? What are you hearing right now with both? How are they going to approach this game?
Yeah, great to be back with you, boys. If this is the preamble to the postseason, my God, we are in for something pretty special. But I know there are concerns about Chris Sale's back, and they were really hoping, at least the Atlanta camp, to try and get this first game. And that's probably why you saw Snicker do the extended leash there with Schwellenbach and hopefully try and get with Jimenez and Iglesias across the line. But still waiting to kind of hear what they want to do. But there was a sense that at all costs, they were going to hope to try and avoid Chris Sale today. And as it stands right now, it looks like he's not going to make the start.
Do you think he's out for the year? I mean, so let's say the back's okay. It would be 16 days without a start then. Or 15, I mean, because out with back spasm, they're going with Grant Holmes now in game 2. Take it away, sir.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Pauly, is just even getting past today. Let's assume Atlanta won game 1, and knowing this is in the back of your head, then you've got to fly, across the country to get to San Diego. And is it a 5 and dive for Chris Sale in Tuesday's opener? I mean, that's something that I think in-house they were probably already having to plan for worst case scenario-wise. So, yeah, they'll bullpen it to start here from what it sounds like and probably see where things are. But I'm with Mitch right now. If your action on the Mets, and I know the Diamondbacks are rooting like hell to try and get the Mets across the finish line here to get in. What a wild second game we're in for.
Do you think there's anything to this? I brought it up in the first segment. The Mets want to win this game and play guys. This might be far-fetched to keep the Braves out of the playoffs because Atlanta has killed them in recent years.
That is a perfect narrative, Mitch. And having been in a clubhouse, you got a chance to knock out your division rival on their home field. No question about it that the Mets are rallying together right now and say, okay, we did what we came here to do. We got one. Now let's make it hurt. And it wouldn't shock me if they come out also knowing they got the news as we did too, guys, that Sale's not going to be in there. Oh, man, what a headwind for them, or at least a tailwind, I should say, off this momentum of an epic comeback.
Why would I play anybody, though? Right? The fastball inside, I break a hand or something. I mean, I play the Brewers tomorrow at 2:30 in the afternoon. I have a great chance to win that series. Would you play anybody? How would you handle it from the Mets standpoint?
Yeah, it's a good point, Pauly, and I think they'd probably go inning by inning with that and realize that, okay, if there is any scenario in which Carlos Mendoza feels like any of his position players, of course, you're thinking of Lindor, you're thinking of Nimmo, Alonso, some of the big guys right there, they'll do what they have to do. I mean, again, they can't be selfish here and try and get everything today. And again, it doesn't really mean anything as far as the Mets are concerned. But, yeah, I think that is going to be priority number one. Get through this game healthy. But icing on the cake if you can sweep this two-gamer today.
Follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, former pitcher, now MLB Network Radio, Jensen Lewis. So when you were pitching back in the day, I'm guessing that you suffered from back spasms at some point.
I was lucky, Mitch. I had just a 2-week oblique strain in 2012 with the Diamondbacks. So knock on wood, I was in good shape. But I had plenty of teammates that had to deal with it as well.
So if Sale was scratching, I saw a report that it flared up yesterday/last night. And if he can't go today, what do you think? When could he go? If it's only back spasms we're talking about, could he go tomorrow? Could he go on Wednesday? How soon are we talking?
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll probably do everything they have to in a postseason scenario, whatever the medical team deems, and also in collaboration with Chris Sale there. They'll do what they have to do. Here's your problem, guys. Because they had to play today, they could have already been in Milwaukee, in San Diego, wherever that thing would have ended up, had they played these games and known what they needed over the weekend to get in, you could have already been getting treatment. You could have already had things in position to where now, guys, you're going to sit on a bird for at least, 2, 3, 4 hours. And, they're again, modern medicine is going to help them out a little bit, but Then you got to turn around and play an afternoon game local time. But that's a lot to ask in a 24-hour period.
They're excited in Cleveland, and their win total was 77.5. They win the division, and you just saw, look no further than today, how important a good bullpen is. You have the number one bullpen in baseball. What do you think of the Guardians' chances here, and if they can make a deep postseason run? I need 5 from the starters, and I'm good. Do you see it that way?
Absolutely, Pauly. And I think you, Mitch, and I had talked about this maybe a month ago, that with the American League as wide open as it was then, and I still think is now, whoever was able to get the bye into that divisional series would have a pretty significant leg up on the field. Now you're asking the Houston Astros, first time in 8 years that they'll have to play the wild card round. They won't have their rotation set up. And I tell you what, they're running into, as you know quite well, from calling it a month or so ago with Detroit getting in. That's as hot a team as any right now. And I don't think they're excited to have to face them. So I would look at also where the Yankees are too. You talk about good bullpens and bad bullpens. The Yankees are going to have to address that too, but at least they get by not having to worry about getting extended work from Cole, Rodon, maybe Luis Heel. So yeah, I think the Yankees and the Guardians in a pretty solid spot leverage-wise, not having to play the wild card round.
Mm-hmm. You texted me today. You said you sent me a screen grab of it as well. There's a market, or a couple of markets anyway, DraftKings, that you absolutely love that are being offered. Which one is it, and what is your advice to do with it?
Yeah, as we were coming on, guys, I know we were kind of talking about what Kansas City looks like with Reagans and Lugo and Waka. I believe the market on DraftKings is game one winner and series winner. So if it goes the distance, as long as you get the game one winner, I would think you would love to see, especially if Vinny Pasquantino is activated for tomorrow. There were rumors that he has made significant progress, and they were optimistic that they could have a chance to be able to have this happen. So love what Reagans has been able to do down the stretch. Also love where Kansas City is on house money, guys. And we've already seen it rear its ugly head with the back end of the Baltimore bullpen in the second half. That is not a reliable unit right now. So I would say if you're looking to jump on it, there's pretty good odds right there for at least Kansas City. And I wouldn't mind with Skubal against Valdez, probably a low-scoring game there at Minute Maid tomorrow, that Detroit continues this Cinderella run.
Yeah, you could. I'm with you on that. I think if you approach it both ways, right? Royals to win game one because of Reagans in theory, and then same thing with Skubal. You could bet that Skubal and the Tigers to win game one, Astros to come back and win the series. You can bet it right now.
Yeah, and the arbitrage makes a lot of sense right there, and especially some in-game too, if you're thinking about it. If a team out to a pretty significant lead and find a hedge possibility not only tomorrow, but also with the series on the line on Wednesday, just regardless of who wins. So love that idea right there. And I tell you, if you're looking at it from Baltimore's perspective, Pauly, I think you mentioned as we were coming on, okay, you got Burns in game one, and then what? And I think a lot of that predicated off of how many resources do they have to use in tomorrow's opener to try and get a win across the line.
It's a very popular pick, which surprises me because I was reading all these articles, predictions, who you like. Does that scare you off your San Diego prediction to go to the World Series?
I don't think so because of, and I'll take some recency bias in this kind of outlook and what they just did against the Dodgers, and also a bullpen that I think still has some question marks, but also the rotation. I mean, you have Jack Flaherty, you have Yamamoto coming back, but I don't know if the Dodgers even themselves internally are as confident maybe as they have been in years past. So if San Diego, and they're loving life right now, knowing that Atlanta has to win game two here and will have to do a lot to try and get past the Mets. So I think if you're San Diego, looking at that starting rotation with Cease and Musgrove and Darvish, and then A.J. Preller looks like a wizard now for all the assets that he acquired at the trade deadline with Scott, with Jason Adam, and knowing that, Suarez has been pretty solid. The lineup is going pretty well. They could probably get a little bit hotter as we move forward, but boy, I think San Diego is pretty live to upset the Dodgers if they get past into the division series.
Great breakdown. About a minute left here. Caesars Will Hill, they also have up some very creative postseason long props. You found one that you like with total home runs hit. Explain this one.
Yeah, so 103.5 is the number for total postseason. So if you think about the numbers, if it's the minimum series, so if each series goes the minimum games, that's 32, and you'd have to average a little over 3 a game. If it goes the maximum, that's 53. You have to average 2 per game. right now, 1.1 homers per game for the regular season in Major League Baseball. I think the under might be a little bit of a play there.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, 103.5 might be a little bit too high. Follow him on X. He's at JLou50 with MLB Network Radio. Jensen, awesome, especially with the timing today. Thanks so much for the time. Enjoy the playoffs.
You got it, guys. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, and we'll be in touch, no doubt. He joined us here on the Progressive Guest Line. So 103.5 with the breakdown there. He's saying too many based on the numbers that we had in the regular season. The creativity at Caesars and Will Hill. We'll go over these a little bit later on in the program. Tip of the cap to everybody in charge over there. Phenomenal markets to bet and to have fun action for the next month in this sport. Pauly's going to recap a crazy weekend of sports betting and win some, lose some. That's next on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
In the heart of downtown Las Vegas, a sports oasis awaits. Stadium Swim, the ultimate outdoor amphitheater, built for the ultimate sports fan, with a colossal screen that brings the game closer than ever. Reserve a daybed, private cabana, or lounge in the center of it all. 6 pools to dive into as the game heats up. And the best part, there's never an off-season. Open 365 days a year. Stadium Swim, it's always spectator season.
Looking for the ultimate sports betting podcasts? VSiN has got you covered. With a wide range of podcasts covering every major sport, we're here to help you make smarter bets every season. The Baseball Betting Show with Greg Peterson gives you daily insights into finding value on each day's MLB card. And check out Long Shots, where we deep dive into the world of golf betting, providing you with expert insights to help you bet every tournament. Find all of these podcasts and more at VSiN.com/podcasts or your favorite podcast platform. last night?
Wow, winning.
Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
All right, first touchdown in the early games, Jacksonville 16-1. Highest scoring game, Vikings-Packers 12-1. That was a wild one. Low scoring game, Jets-Broncos. Anything but 10-9. Get out of here. 7-1 final. Highest scoring team, Commanders 14-1. Lowest scoring team, Jets 25-1. Most passing yards, Love 12-1. Receiving, good call, Mitch. Collins 10-1. Rushing yards, Henry 87 yards first carry, 17-1. 199 in the win last night. Broncos plus 350 on the money line as well. MLB, late August, September, Tigers 80-1 to make the playoffs. 60-1. Most wins in September. It's a dead heat right now with the Mets. College football, for the second straight week, highest scoring team, James Madison, 15-1 again.
That's absurd.
And go undefeated.
To do a back-to-back weeks.
I know.
They got to make the playoffs.
I know. Undefeated. Well, first things first, can they go undefeated? But they have been awesome offensively. Kentucky plus 550. Shocks Old Miss. Old Dominion plus 350. Sam Houston State down 21 points. Beats Texas State plus 330. Colorado spanks UCF plus 375. Arizona plus 270. BYU and Eastern Michigan 5-0 ATS. And they've covered and won every game as well. EPL, Man City, Newcastle draw, plus 340. Good job, Meatman, 1-1. Ipswich Town, Aston Villa draw, plus 270. UFC, Perez by sub, 13-1, round 1, 8-1. Duncan, submission, 11-1, round 1, 9-1. Battle, round 2, was 10-1. Ziam, round 3, 10-1. Cutelabella, by decision, 9-1. Subscribe, be part of the team, VSiN.com. Our radio and podcast friends, you always want to see these tweets and videos. Moo Deng at it again. The baby hippo in Thailand at the zoo. Look at him open the door to find his sister. I know you're in there. I saw you earlier. Hello? Oh, there you are. Look at the guy. Look at him. He knows how to open the door already.
What's going on in here?
Yeah, right. Look at him. Oh, incredible. Huge on social media, this guy. People can't get enough of him. He uses his nose to open the door and find his sister. Little Moo Deng, which means elastic pork. All right. How about this one? Where the dog is so excited to see his puppy or his son walk. Look at him. I know you can do it, right? You got this, right? I did that. Yeah, I made you. How about that? As the puppy's crawling and moving, and the dog's loving it. Coming and celebrating and jumping around. Lose some. Plenty of it. Falcons, Saints under. 46.5 to 42.5. Steelers plus 1.5 went up a 2.5 point favorite. Packers plus 2.5 to minus 2.5 with the love news. Eagles, Buccaneers under. 47.5 to 42. College, Central Florida, 11 up to 14, spanked. Michigan, Minnesota under, 40 down to 34.5. Indiana, Maryland under, 55.5 down to 50. Not even close, 42-28. Auburn again, plus 2.5 went off the favorite. They lose and beat themselves. Minnesota Twins, 95% to make the playoffs September 1st. Close the season 7-18.
Ouch.
Also, if Arizona misses the playoffs, last Sunday they led the Brewers 8-0. Lost the game. Biggest blown lead in the history of the franchise. Seattle. In June they played the Royals. They led 8-0. Lost the game. Reason they lost the tiebreaker. Finished one back. The average team this year had, I think, 56 quality starts. The Mariners had 92. Best pitching staff they've ever had. Couldn't even make the playoffs. John Parado covers the Pirates. 37 seasons in the books. 7 winning seasons. No postseason series wins. I may be the losingest baseball writer in history. 216,000 views. Incredible, John. That's brutal. Bad for the books. Boise State, 4.5 up to 7. Pounded Washington State. James Madison, 18.5 up to 22. New Mexico from 6.5 up to 9, won by 10. Navy, pick them up to 3, won again. Iowa State, 12.5 up to 16. Louisiana Monroe from 9 down to 6.5, won outright. San Diego State, Central Michigan under 55 down to 48, 22-21. Chiefs look-ahead line from 3 up to 7. Raiders, Browns under. 39.5 down to 37. Very important missed extra point there from Hopkins, 20-16. Packers, Vikings over. 38.5 up to 44.5. And a couple bad beats. The Angels led 8-2 in the 8th on Saturday. They lost. The Cubs and the Rays. If you bet both teams over, you got hooked. Trying to tell you how important numbers are. Look at the Saints game. You could have laid 1.5 and took 2.5.
Yep.
Look what happened Thursday night in the
tell me
Dallas
about
game.
it. Falcons were 2.5 in contest.
Yep, right. Cubs, you got hooked. Rays, you got hooked. Brutal. And a vicious beat if you had the Braves in the under. 3-0 in the 8th. They lose the game. 8-7 final. If you ever get red hot betting and think your picks are worth money, Juice Reel, changing the way sports bettors buy and sell betting advice. You and everyone else links their account into Juice Reel. All your history loads into the free app. Everyone's bets imported straight from the books. You're as good as your betting data says you are. Unlock the picks that real talented bettors have their money on. Get paid real money when other people unlock your picks. Fully transparent betting advice from real people only on Juice Reel. REEL. Download for free on iPhone or Android. Get your phone, download it now, Juice Reel.
Okay, so this is going to be one of the sickest beats of the entire year in any sport, and I know the texts and the tweets are still coming in. At VSiN Live, at Mitch Moss Radio, at Pauly Howard. Can I describe to you how big of a stomach punch this is to lose Chris Sale most regular season strikeouts? An astonishing turn of events to close the season. First of all, I said this about, I had 4 guys. Monster numbers. So I'm going to win to Scooble. I went back and looked overall. I have him at 50-1. It was by far, I don't know what the hell I was doing, by far the only small bet that I made.
You did take Scooble.
Beginning of the season, 50-1.
Wow.
I got Cease 30-1, 4Ks back. I got Sale 150-1, and I got Reagan's 100-1. I made a much bigger bet on Reagan's than any of the other ones. I told you we would have been dancing at the cabana for 3 days if Reagan's came in.
He can't go Sunday because they clinched.
They clinched, so they said, no, he's not going to go.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Now, Sale hasn't pitched since when?
September 19th.
19th. That's 11 days ago. And they were holding out for a spot like this, right? So he's 3 back. And he was going to go today. Back spasms last night. So guess what I did? I hedged on the Braves in Game 1, hoping I would lose to get Chris Sale in Game 2. So the Braves never announced this until 10 minutes ago. So I lost the hedge. I'm going to lose Sale 150-1. And I'm seeing right now texts and tweets again coming in, ranging between 110-1 and 200-1 on the guy. Got to tip my cap. Shout out to Weston, who put me on Sale early in the season. He called it probably the sickest beat of his entire life. He had 7 tickets on Chris Sale, most strikeouts, 200-1, various ways.
Right.
And now he's not going to go today. He's scratched. And I think several of us who are holding Chris Sale did the same exact thing today. We bet the Braves today. Again, thinking that he's going to go. There was no announcement from Atlanta until, guys, you know what? We've been holding this against. So the Mets went, no. Guy actually has back spasms. We knew this last night. He can't pitch today. Thank you. I hope they lose this game 85-0. And I hope they get swept in the first. If they win it, I hope they get swept by an average score of like 12-1 in the playoffs. Oh, my God. I can't believe what's happening.
I'm sorry. Condolences.
It's one of the worst beats of all time.
Mm-hmm.
To be shaped. Oh, I can't believe it's happening. You got to be kidding me.
Yeah. It is Holmes against Lucchesi now.
Yes.
And the Braves have to have it.
There is no Lindor in this game, but they are going with a bunch of other starters, by the way.
Yeah, Alonso's playing. Marte's playing.
Nimmo hit the big home run in the previous game. He's playing. He's in the lineup.
But for how long, right?
Oh, yeah, sure.
How are you going to treat it? But 2 outs, nobody on. We're underway. And now the Braves, if they win, they go to San Diego. If they lose, they go home. And the Mets go to San Diego, and Arizona goes to Milwaukee. And somehow, wild how this turned out. What an incredible game.
There you go. Is that a 1-2-3? Yeah, I think it was. 1-2-3. So 7 or 8 pitches, Holmes already shuts him down in the first.
Condolences. I don't know what this is. That's terrible.
I'll get over it.
Yeah.
I'll get over it by the top of the next hour.
I know, but that's...
I had to get that off my chest for 30 seconds.
Yeah. But Plesac was on to something, and there was something wrong with him. It didn't make any sense to hold him this long and just waiting for that opportunity and now you need him, and now he can't go. I mean, another question is, even if you win today, when can he go?
I know.
So this is, the fun begins tomorrow where we play for keeps. But
well, by the way, but it's back spasms as of yesterday, so they're telling us.
I don't buy it.
I think combined with something that's also lingering from the reason why he hasn't pitched in 11 days.
I was watching the same thing in the footage of what happened in Cincinnati, and the look on his face when he walked off the mound after 5 innings.
Yeah. Remember,
there looked like there was something wrong then.
Remember, Sale could have pitched last Tuesday. That would have been normal rest. They went Schwellenbach instead.
Yeah.
So there's something here that's definitely not right with him. Up next, I hated the big news of the weekend. I don't want to overreact. Coming up on Follow the Money, it's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
A new football season means a new lineup on VSiN. Start your day